So can you start by giving me a little bit of an introduction to yourself and telling me about Be My Guest, the show?
Okay, so I'm Monia, and I'm a physical theatre actress and physical comedy and a clown. And I've studied and graduated in the L'École Philippe Gaulier in France. So I've done training on clowning and physical comedy. And Be My Guest is my first solo show, in which I am the only performer, the director, and the writer of it. So it's a big challenge for me with that. And it's a show that is a ceremony and ritual with the audience, in which I explore the journey of making a show through different parts of myself involved in the creative process, and which are like 6 different characters, each one of them with their own mask. I don't wear a mask, but it's mask work. And so each of the roles have got their own body, physicality, voice, and story, and each one of them is there for a reason. Each one of them want to make a show, and each one of them represent also the reasons why I do this job, and also the struggle connected with everything about being an artist.
Yeah. And kind of obviously going back to the beginning for you, what inspired you to get into performing?
As the beginning of the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah.
I think I always, so it's not really a funny story and not very interesting. I think I always wanted to be a performer since I was very young. When I was very young, I was very, very shy as a child. I remember being a person, I am an only child, and my parents are quite old, and I didn't have many friends, and I think imagining things was what saved me. Creating story, writing since I was young. And then when I was in the high school, I found out there was this theater class which I could go. I sat there at that workshop, and I think for the first 2 years of working, and there was kind of helping the director, helping out from the outside, and to watch at the beginning, shy to do anything. And my performing desire came much later. Before, I think I start from the outside, and then when I was about 20-ish, 23, 24, I started to get up and do some stuff myself, but I was always a bit scared. And then after, it became what I wanted to do. Yeah.
And obviously, Be My Guest kind of explores, like you say, the kind of artistic kind of struggle you go through. Kind of what was the approach to writing the show?
The approach was like starting from my clown, which is Nina Divina, and she's the host of the show, because I've worked for many years as a host. So there was, and when I was doing that, my job was connecting the audience for what they were going to see on stage. So I was just like a channel, this connection bit between the stage. And I thought the show I started to have this idea of the show during the pandemic, and I was on my own because I moved back to Italy, where I'm from, and I didn't have my colleagues around. So I say, I would try to do a cabaret night when I am playing all the guests myself. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a very light show about different clown numbers, all played by myself with the audience. And there was, then I went to devising 3 different devising workshop with Giovanni Fusetti, he's a director of a clown school in Italy, in Padova. So I shared the experience of creating the show with other artists, which were also creating the projects. And it came out, by confronting and performing, it came out that those characters I was exploring were part of myself, without me realizing it. And then it started to be even more clear, and I had a bit of a crisis in which I didn't feel entitled to make something about myself, because I always done shows that would talk about something, everything else but about myself.
Yeah.
And I thought, this time I want to explore my universe, my imagination, the imagination I told you before. I just want to open up this door,
Yeah.
and what's inside me as a person, as an archetype, as a woman, as an artist, and yes, that's how it came out.
Yeah, and obviously you've got these kind of different personas that you say in the show. How do you kind of decide on which ones they're going to be?
I don't know if I decided or if they came to me.
Yeah.
It's a bit like 6 characters in a search of an actor, of an author, which it's not really the same story at all. But it kind of like came to me in a way. They visited me. They wanted me to do this show about them.
Yeah.
Because each one of them is a reason. They represent a reason. For example, I can tell you about them if you want.
Yeah, go on.
So there is Nina Divina, which is my clown, and I play with her many times. And she's the presenter. She's also the producer, and she's the one who's like makes sure that the audience is there, and she's the madame.
Yeah.
Which is the madame. And then I've got Venus, which is very beautiful and a seductive person that she wants desperately to seduce everyone. And she has interaction with Freud and with the lovers and with everything that is about love, because that's the part of myself that does this job because I desperately need to be loved.
Yeah.
For real. Like one of the thing of every actor and myself too is the fact that we do this job because we're so insecure that we need to be loved in order to exist.
Yeah.
That's why it's standard but said. And then there is the artist, which is physical theater artist.
Yeah.
Relevant there to communicate for the artists in the room, sense and knowledge. And then I have a tragic actress which is desperate to die.
Yeah.
That also connected with something real.
Yeah, of course.
It's the drama, no? It is the intensity of it, and the connection with the Greek theater and the mythology and the gods and the catharsis. Then I have the beast, which is a very important part of myself as an actress, and that comes from me as a young person, actress, going and be told that I was too much, that I was exaggerating, that I was a beast. And it's an energy of very horizontal energy to empower the people and to free them from normality, ordinary life, and release the power of the body. And then the last character is myself, which is my clown. Not the white clown, which is Nina Divina, but the other more clown that is there to tell my story, the story of my life. Yeah.
Amazing. Obviously, kind of reading the press release, kind of it says kind of the audience is kind of important to the show. So, kind of how important for you is it to directly connect to that audience?
Well, the audience is like without the audience, the show it's not possible.
Yeah.
Because it's a journey. Each one of the characters represent an archetype that is present in the people. Each one of us have got that part. And I play with them because I'm a clown mainly. So I play without the fourth wall, and I play with giving roles to the audience to play.
Yeah.
Use them as part of the story, creating stuff with them. So it's not a fixed script. There are bits like example, one part the audience, they are birds, and I translate the words, or they come to assist me when I'm giving birth to my son, which is also a person from the audience, or they are my lovers. And they all have a part. In each scene, they all have an important part of it. They have an important role, because this is also a show about solitude as well, behind everything else. And it's a show, and it's the solitude of the artist, but with the connection with who he looks. And it's my desire, and the reason why I do this job in general, not just the show. It's just to create, to make the audience involved in the process of a show, to play with them. Rather than showing something, my idea is to make something with people who are, and to also make them feel a bit uncomfortable, and make sure they play like I do. I look after them. I don't make them do my work. That's not. I work a lot, but I want to do. I think right now as well there is a lot of need to connect in the theater. It could be one of the ways to create a sense of a community and play. Yeah,
of course. And kind of, does that keep it obviously exciting for you as the performer, kind of not knowing specifically what's going to happen with that connection with someone?
Yeah, that's very scary, and that's always a bit exciting. Like for example, the other day I went to Milan and I did the show. For the first time, I played in front of an Italian audience, because I haven't been in Italy. Yeah. And I don't know if you know, Mark, but the Italian audiences are quite religious.
Yeah.
So even for the structure of the theater, there is the stage, and then there is a whole, the space in between us. So, and then of course the people are now wearing a mask, so it's even like more difficult to do a clown work. But I was like very interesting how people. The beginning, there's a prologue that helps the show to connect with them and make them feel okay to play. So at the beginning, I saw everybody be like, backwards. But by the middle, at the end, everyone was playing, and they, I didn't have to convince people to get up. There was just like very much joy, honestly. And I don't expect. Sometimes I plan things, but they never go the way I thought they were going.
Yeah, of course, always. What kind of would you expect an audience to take away from coming to see the show?
Well, I hope they, first of all, get the idea of like we go to theater as well, not just to watch, but to play. I think that's the thing. And the theater could be a place of absurdity and imagination and fantasy, but could also be a place for connect with the humanity. And I think my mission in this show is just to prove that I'm not on my own.
Yeah.
And that I have this very big desire of let the people be my guest. So like really on the same sort of level, that I can share with them and I can have fun with them, and I can be every night something completely different based on who's in the room and what's the mood, and play with the imagination of the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. A simple question now. What does theatre simply mean to you?
But many things, but mainly to me as is the space of for me is the space where I feel where I see life at the most, where I feel alive myself, but also where everything is really possible, and the fact that it's so ephemeral, I have this word in English, makes it so important. And that's why I love comedy and clown in particular, because that it is really something that is process of connection, total connection with the audience. It's like, and you work really on eggshells, but you work on with this reality of you have to be sensitive of what is going on in the room. So
Yeah.
for me, it's also the space of great imagination, but also sharing the whatever whatever has to happen.
Yeah. Amazing. I tend to end my interviews with some quick fire questions. These are more just about you, kind of your life generally. So the first one would be, what was the first piece of theatre in your life that you can remember seeing?
Yeah. I was a show, but I think in the UK, I don't know. It's called Pippo Del Bono is the director.
Yeah.
The show was called Urlo. I don't know how old I was, but I saw it when I was like at the end of my teenagers years.
Yeah.
And there was this band. They came in the stage playing, but not a band like musical band, like those old bands, with the saxophone, and they.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a scream of I don't know if it was a lamb or something, but it was wow. And there was just like absurdity.
Yeah.
But characters that were coming and talking to us directly and telling their stories and coming on the audience and breaking all the walls about what I've seen before, which was very classic and academic, was just very breaking apart. And then these voices, these actors were like not actors coming from academy. They were people who had suffered, who had coming from very poor background and with social disadvantages, and they were like shining. And so they found in the theater the reason to survive. And what I love of the show is that I saw it after as well. I met the director. What I saw was that everyone has the real reason to do that show. It wasn't just to please someone. It was just a matter of life and death, almost, for each one of them.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Amazing.
In a beautiful, absurd way, but real.
Yeah, of course. This is more of an abstract question. If you could be an animal, what animal would you be?
That's my favorite animal. A whale.
Yeah.
I would like to go in places where I would like to travel all over the world and be in very deep places on my own sometimes. And then, I think the sea really fascinating me a lot as a place.
Yeah. Amazing. Do you have a favourite theatre in the world to either visit or perform at?
Theatre?
Yeah.
There is a little theatre in Paris, in Saint-Michel, where they do the bold soprano. It's called Teatro de la Chette. I don't remember the name, but there is this little small theatre with like 30 places where they have been doing, since UNESCO wrote the first time the bold soprano, I think it was 1954, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But since that day, they have been doing the show twice a week.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I mean, every time I go to Paris, I see the show again. Maybe sometimes they can't change the cast, but I always thought I would like to play in this little theater.
Yeah.
If it's a magical little place.
Amazing. That sounds amazing, to be fair. What was the last book that you read?
I've read the book of Dario Fo. It's called, I've read it before, but I finished to read it the other day.
Yeah.
It's called Minimum Manual of an Actor. And it's just one of these. Sometimes I read books that, for some reason, sometimes I read books because I need to study more what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course.
And Dario Fo is, I read this book like 10 years ago, and I read it, and I don't think I did understand anything of the book 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I read so many things that are related in that book to what I do. It's particularly one monologue that he does, one piece that he wrote about. And I thought, God, sometimes you find these little answers in the books for little questions you've got and the things you do. And that was
amazing. If you weren't in theatre, what do you think you'd be doing with your life?
I think I would be a vet.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, why not? Why not?
I like to work like with farm animals.
Yeah.
I thought, looking after animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. What would be the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
That I was given myself. Someone gave it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I think someone once told me to be brave, like to just do what feels right for me, and like just to be brave, not to worry so much, like to have the courage to do what feels right, even if it doesn't really meet the other people's expectation. I think that was an important thing to me to say. Was my teacher in the school, like Philippe Collier, told me that. Said, just be brave, like that's all you have to do. It's as an artist, as a person, just don't worry.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. Yeah,
That is very true. And my final question for you today is simply, why should anybody watching come and see Be My Guest?
They should come because everyone wants to be a guest at some point, and everyone wants to be looked after and wants to be treated well, as respect, and everyone wants to come and play and have fun and just forget about what they are and what the problems are and join me in this crazy absurd situation which I create for them.
Yeah.
And and if they come, that would be crazy fun. Like that would be crazy, 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 and also I hope fun. But it will be different.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you for your time today. Anyone watching, Be My Guest is coming to the Cockpit Theatre on Thursday, the 14th of April at 7:30. There'll be a link below for tickets. So grab a ticket and get along. Thank you, as I say, for your time.